Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about Season 3, Episode 14, titled Valentine's Day Massacre, aired February 2nd, 2000. And the synopsis is
Joy questions Dawson's state of mind when he and Pacey decide to lead her and their friends to a secret party on a golf course hosted by Matt Caulfield, a wealthy and snobbish student connected to a clique of spoiled rich kids from school. Meanwhile, Jack's ex-girlfriend, Kate Douglas, arrives from Rhode Island for a visit while nursing a broken heart, but is unaware of Jack's coming out. Also, Jen's first date with Henry is a Valentine's Day she won't soon forget when he passes out after donating too much blood to pay for the romantic dinner at a fancy restaurant.
so this episode, the title of it, Massacre. Do you like the title of it?
No, because like I said last time, it sounded like a horror film.
Yeah, like what is this, October?
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be Valentine's Day, all sweet, not crazy and wicked.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna die or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't like the title.
Neither, yeah.
Now, did it add up to the show though? I mean, I don't think so.
I mean, things went wrong, but
Not
was...
like in a horror movie.
Yeah,
like the title suggests.
Yeah, nobody was really even injured besides for Henry passing out, but...
No.
Yeah, so we start off the episode with...
Yes. Do you like Dawson teaching Joey how to drive?
Well, it was a nice thing for him to try to help her with, but I was kind of surprised to see Pacey in the back just, waiting for it to get over with.
He was like sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was funny when Pacey wakes up and he's like, "Are we there yet?"
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie?
Are we there yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it. So what do you think Dawson was being nice or mean when he was teaching her how to drive?
I think he was being nice. I mean, I never drove stick, but it does seem complicated. And even complicated to teach it. And then that's when Pacey brought up Matt's secret party.
Well, and then he brought up a college boy,
Mm-hmm.
college boyfriend, even though she hasn't really said that she's, I don't know, this episode it was just kind of weird. I don't know, because the last episode it seemed, I don't know, where I didn't really know where it was going with her and, what's his name?
AJ.
Yeah, AJ, I forgot his name. I don't know. I just feel like we left them in a weird spot.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're picking up in this one. And again, it's just the three of them. So it's just weird to bring in AJ. Like, I don't like the guy. Get rid of him. I know you like AJ.
Well, it's just Pacey brought him up because, he's jealous of him.
I know. And it was funny though, because he basically was like, what kind of moron would rather study than take his girl out? I'm like, Pacey, first of all, don't call Joey AJ's girl. First of all, that's gross. And second, I mean, I don't know. AJ seems like he would be more into his books than girls.
Yeah.
Because, like, remember how awkward he was around Joey?
Mm-hmm.
Someone he liked.
Yeah. And Joey rather watch movies than go to that party.
Yeah. And then Pacey said, who are you going to get to drive you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but, okay, it's a small town, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Okay, who takes Joey around anywhere? Doesn't she just walk? Don't any of them just walk?
Yeah, seems like it.
I mean, she was walking to school.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me she can't walk to the movies? Or to the video store to pick one out?
I guess.
I'm just saying. It was weird. I'm like, wait a minute. None of them are really driving. Except for Pacey. We know when he's stealing cars. But other than that, nope. You don't really see them driving.
Right.
You see them walking more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And think about a lot of times they're like hitchhiking from somebody.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird. I'm like, it's funny, but it's just weird because they're not always driving. They're always just on foot.
And then at school later, I'm assuming they are at school. Like I just said.
So was that like all more like at 6 a.m. he's teaching her how to drive?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that was a long time that he was teaching her. And then now we're at school?
I guess, yeah.
That's kind of weird. And does Dawson have his license?
I don't think so.
And then how can he teach Joey how to drive?
I don't know. I guess his dad taught him, but he never took a test for it, I guess. I don't know. We just know that Pacey did.
I don't get it. I'm like, there's no word if Dawson has his license. So
Mm-hmm.
how can he teach Joey if he doesn't even have his license?
Right. I don't know.
Because remember, the car was taken back or something. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't even see him have a car.
Yeah.
So where's he going to drive to?
Well, wasn't it not Pacey, Dawson's dad's truck they were using?
No, that's Joey's.
Oh, right, right.
It's Bessie's truck.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Because it's
remember
like
what it
that light
was.
blue one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawson, I don't know how he gets anywhere either.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't drive. And if he does, why don't they just tell us this?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very irritating because I don't know what's happening in the show. Once again. Now, did you like when Jack comes up to Pacey and Dawson at school?
Yeah, that was funny.
And Jack's all proud of himself because he got the code to the party.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking about the Star Wars reference before that.
Oh.
When,
Remember, I don't watch Star Wars, so
yeah,
when Pacey called him, here's my Chewbacca.
yeah. Because Dawson calls Pacey the poor man's Yoda, where Pacey says he sees himself more as a Han Solo type. And that's when Jack comes walking up and Pacey's like, oh, there's my Chewbacca. And Jack's like, what? That was funny.
And then what is the code word?
I know Kung Fu.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Who made that one up?
I know. Even though the movie was after the show, it just made me think of the Kung Fu Panda movie. And then Henry is at the clinic or hospital or somewhere trying to sell more of his plasma so he can afford his date with Jen.
Um, so he was funny. He was like, I have a date with an angel. Oh my gosh, Henry, I can't with you. You're so freaking sweet.
Yeah.
He called Jen an angel.
Yeah.
I don't exactly think Jen's an angel. Okay, she has similarities somewhat to like the evil, like sometimes, especially with how she's treating him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really consider her an angel, but okay. But in his eyes, she can't do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sweet.
Yeah. And then he convinces that nurse to let him donate more of his blood.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Was if you were the nurse,
Yeah.
would you do the illegal thing? Because remember, he's not supposed to donate more.
Mm-hmm.
Within that 72 hours,
Mm-hmm.
which means
I think it was 48 hours.
No,
Even.
she said 72.
Oh.
But would you, in that time, would you do it for him?
No.
Because what if he dies?
Mm-hmm.
Then you just killed somebody.
Yeah.
Or if he gets injured, like that's
Mm-hmm.
on you.
Yeah, he almost did, yeah.
Yeah, like they're gonna be, because they're gonna question it. It's gonna be a whole investigation,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna be responsible. So if I were her, I'd be like, I don't care how sweet you are. No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is Henry is so sweet, but I would just say no. Sorry, I'm not getting fired
Yeah.
just because you want to go on a date.
Yeah.
It's all sweet, but no. And okay, he said he's been planning this for weeks, right? How come he's just now donating? Like he couldn't start donating weeks ago?
Well, maybe.
Because he said he's been planning his date with her.
Yeah. Maybe he just kept like adding things to it that he wanted to do, like the ring. I think that was like a last minute thing. So he had to do it again for the ring.
Because I was just like, but if you've been planning this for weeks, then you should have planned out how to get the money.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird that all of a sudden you need this extra money. I don't know.
And then Pacey finds Doug in his car on the street to get the location of the party.
Now, okay. Here's my thing with Doug. Okay. He knows his brother so well. At least that's what he always acts like, right?
Mm-hmm.
His brother's the lowlife, Doug always thinks, him and Dawson are better than ever. They got that same mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So, knowing your brother, why in the world would you tell him where the party is going to be?
I know. He should have realized
I
that
was
was
like,
a trap.
it's one thing to be like, no, like I'm working. I can't. Because Pacey was like, hey, why don't,
He read along.
yeah, he wanted to do the ride along.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Dog's like, no, I have to go stake out the golf course.
Yeah.
You should have just said no.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you have to add to it?
Right.
But again, knowing your brother,
Mm-hmm.
why would you tell him?
I don't know.
You could have just said no.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know it's going to be really boring tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well just go hang out with your friends.
Yeah.
Not actually tell him. And then Pacey's all like, cool, I got it. It's like, no. Or he should have said, sure, you can come with me. Because then he
Pacey,
wouldn't,
yeah,
he
couldn't go.
wouldn't be at the party.
Yeah.
And then he could have seen Pacey's reaction because Pacey, I'm sure, was waiting for a no.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he really, that would have really stopped him in his footsteps if he was like, no, you can go on the ride along. And he'd be, what? And then it would have been, why? Did you have something else planned? Because you just said you wanted to go on a ride along. So see, he should have played it that way.
Mm-hmm. But
of course, Doug being the, what's the nice word? Idiot that he is. He just tells them, I don't get it. He's so naive that his brother is the angel. I mean, in my eyes he is, but I'm just saying, not in Doug's eyes.
Yeah, because before Pacey never showed interest in
His
going
life
with him before in the cop car. He's just usually taking the cop car without Doug's permission. So this should have been out of character for him, and Doug should have realized that and known something was up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his brother gets into trouble, so why would he just open his mouth?
Mm-hmm.
And he never questioned it afterwards.
No.
That's what I mean. He's very naive to just. How does he have this job that he's supposed to protect the citizens?
I don't know.
He's not doing a very good job.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, let's be honest, he hasn't since the first episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not good on his part.
And then Andy invites Kate over to say that a couple nights with him, Jack's ex-girlfriend.
It was funny because Jack was like, who are you talking to?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, Kate, my ex-girlfriend? Yeah, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently this is the one he had sex with.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, he told Joey a while ago that he only had sex once, and clearly it's with Kate.
Mm-hmm.
So I did think it was funny when they're at the golf course and they all, they're all introduced and stuff. And, she's obviously introduced as like Jack's ex-girlfriend, and Pacey was like, oh, that was like a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
but going back to Graham's house,
mm-hmm.
what did you think of her and Jen, like Jen getting ready?
Well, I thought it was nice how she was trying to give her advice on how not to be nervous, but I didn't really get the whole neck situation with the necklace.
I didn't either.
Like, I mean, I guess that was like back in the day, but today a necklace is just a necklace, doesn't mean anything, whether you wear it or not, so.
Yeah, that was so first I was like, of course, Jen, I could never see her wearing any other color but black.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And because she was like, oh, which color? And she's obviously holding up the black dress.
Mm-hmm.
And then Graham's is like, oh, the red one. It's Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes, yeah, you're right. But obviously she means I'm wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, she's going to go against whatever Graham says. But then when, she gets dressed and she looks all nice, I think she's going to put on a necklace. And Graham's like, what did she say?
That no necklace is proper.
Proper for the first date.
Yeah. Chaste, pure.
Huh? Like,
yeah.
I was so shocked. I was like, I have never heard that.
Me either.
Like, it was news to me. I was like, again, not following it.
Yeah.
It was weird. I was like, but on all movies, when they're going on a date, don't they always put on a necklace?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't really remember like them not putting on a necklace because that's just like the last thing you put on.
Yeah, and even in real life too.
Yeah. So it was just weird though that Graham's is the first one that's mentioning that it's pure, whatever, and proper if she has no necklace. And I'm like, I'm sorry, But Jen needed a necklace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just for finishing touches.
Mm-hmm.
She just needed a pretty necklace on.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes, I was like, just give the girl a necklace. Come on now.
Yeah. And then Andy is driving in the car with Jack and Kate on the way to the party.
So does Jack have his license? Because the boy don't drive.
I don't think so.
So
it's just
according to this show,
Andy and Pacey are the only ones that can drive.
So according to this show, Jack's the older one.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also the one that doesn't have his license.
Yeah.
Andy's the little sister
Mm-hmm.
who has her license.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And also the one with... This isn't the same car.
No, I think they have a different car every episode at this
The
point.
McPhees keep changing cars.
Apparently they can afford it now.
I would think they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would think that her treatment and her mom's would have cost a lot of money unless somehow, miraculously, their insurance covered it all. Which I don't think... Does insurance cover it all? Like 100%?
Definitely not back then.
No. So I would think that Dad would be forking out some money. Plus, once again, he's not at home, the dad. So again, he has to now pay for 2 homes.
Mm-hmm.
And why are they now? And my other thing is too, why are they still in that big house? It's
I don't know.
literally just Jack and Andy.
Yeah.
Why can't they downsize?
I don't know.
It's really messed up.
Mm-hmm.
The McPhees have a lot of money, but I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you like the car ride when Kate starts crying?
Well, first I had to get used to hearing her call Jack Jackers.
Jackers!
Yeah. And then, she just started bursting into tears when Jack said, funny you should mention that or something like that. He started off with, and then she's like, that's the same thing my boyfriend told me when he told me he was gay. So.
Yeah, like right before he told me he was gay.
Mm-hmm. And then Andy and Jack look at each other. Andy looks completely horrified, and Jack's like, oh, man.
Well, it was funny because at the house,
Mm-hmm.
Andy was like, because Jack's like, man, like, I don't know how to tell her. And Andy's like, just tell her. Like, just sit her down and tell her. And I'm like, what? And then obviously in the car, it's like he's going to do it. And it's like, yeah, the look on there, it's like, nope. Jack's like, oh, I'm not going to say it now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the look I was getting from him was, nope, can't do it.
Yep, out of everything that she could have said, it was that.
I mean, let's be honest. That would have been hard to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like that 2 of your boyfriends are?
Yeah. And then when they all arrive to the golf course, Pacey is given commentary of his own pretending golf swing when Andy comes up saying hi.
McPhee.
And how he points out how she ruined his swing.
But I still love that he calls her McPhee.
Yeah, me too.
It's still so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love when he calls Joey Potter, and
Yeah.
it's just so sweet.
And then Pacey brought Dawson to the side where he tells him that Kate wants to hook up and tells him to go for it.
Now, I did not have that in my mind at all. When I watched it, I had exactly what Dawson was thinking, which was, wow, 2 boyfriends being gay. That was what was in Dawson's head.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what was in my head when obviously they said that that's Jack's ex-girlfriend. I did not have it in my mind that it meant that Dawson and, what's her name, Kate, should hook up or date or anything. I was on Dawson's side. I was like, didn't catch that. Because even Dawson's like, that's not where I was going with this. And I'm like, neither was I. Mm-hmm. See, for once, Dawson and I are thinking alike. What would you think?
No, I was the same too. Yeah.
You weren't thinking like Pacey?
No.
Oh, you guys should hook up.
Mm-mm.
No. And why didn't Dawson? Okay, here's the thing. Why didn't Dawson say, well, why don't you 2 hook up? Like, you're not dating anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. Yeah. So, I mean, Dawson is only... He's not getting anything from Pacey. And the fact that if they're both single, because clearly in Pacey's head, he's taken, right? So, but not in Dawson's head. So why didn't Dawson say, hey, you should go for it? That would have made more sense. Because it's already in Pacey's head that someone should date her. So it's like, well, why not you? I mean, we all know why, but Dawson doesn't. And Wouldn't that be something that like a friend would say to another friend? Like
Yeah.
if you're both single?
Yeah, I guess.
It's just weird how he didn't come back at him and say, well, what about you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or even like, who are you going to go after? I mean, it was just weird.
Mm-hmm. And then Joey shows up and Pacey's surprised.
Pacey's like, man, now my night's ruined. Even though he invited her.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get mad at the girl for showing up when you invited her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said something like, well, if Pacey is insisting on being the devil on your shoulder, I should be the angel. What is up with this angel talk this episode?
I don't know.
Joey's the angel to Dawson. Jen's the angel to Henry. I'm not following this angel talk.
Well, I don't know about Henry, but with the whole party situation, it was more like a right or wrong decisions being made there.
It was just weird, though. I'm like, why are two different storylines?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about an angel.
Yeah.
So I just didn't get it.
And then Henry picks up Jen for their date and gives her a rose.
No, okay. Well, what did you think, though, when Pacey was in the same golf cart as Joey? Like, why is Pacey driving Joey?
Just because Pacey wanted Dawson to hook up with Kate, so that's why they're in the cart together. Then brother and sister Andy and Jack are in the other. That's how it made sense to me. So they were left over in one cart.
They were left over.
Yeah, because everybody else was paired up with somebody else.
I was just, It's not because Pacey wanted to drive her around.
Well, that's probably part of it.
Because
yeah.
let's be honest,
Mm-hmm.
he's taken in his mind by Joey.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's not thinking of anyone else.
Yeah.
That's why he's trying to hook his best friend Dawson up with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think, too, like a part of Pacey is trying, because Pacey knows he's in love with Joey. We made that clear, 2 episodes ago at the Potter B&B that he was in love with her. Do you think a part of Pacey is trying to get Dawson to move on from Joey so that it doesn't look so bad when it comes out?
Probably. Yeah.
Like, hey, if you have a girlfriend, that means you moved on and I can go and date your ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's like what the writers kind of envisioned a little, is like, let's have Dawson move on and then it won't look so bad.
Yeah, it could have been. And then when Pacey is talking to Joey about Dawson, he's actually the one that makes a director reference, Oliver Stone, even though Dawson's the film geek. I noticed that.
Well, she's like the assistant.
I know, I'm just surprised. You usually wouldn't make a reference like that.
Well, she does hang around Dawson too much.
And then Pacey says that Dawson needs to have as much life experience as possible, and Joey asks why does life experience have to be wild parties and random hookups, and Pacey just asks Joey if, like, what do you want him to do? Join a book club?
I thought that was hilarious because he's like, what do you want him to do?
Mm-hmm.
Join a book club? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't take it with him.
And then another cart, Andy.
And I have a question.
Yeah.
Why does Joey keep rambling about Dawson? Let him be. He wants to have fun. Just shut up. You're not dating him.
Yeah, she's just concerned as a friend and make sure he doesn't.
But don't you think she's going overboard? You can be concerned and stay in there and like pull him away when he needs to, but let him have fun. I mean, shut up.
Yeah, she was.
And you are going to ruin everyone's night if you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was going overboard when she was just telling him things out loud in front of the group.
She was annoying me though. I'm like, shut up. This whole episode, all you're doing is rambling on and on. Just shut up and let Dawson be. I mean, he's already boring. He needs something. What? He's boring. I'm sorry.
And then another cart, Andy and Jack talk about him telling Kate that he's gay.
Yeah. Now how can he do that after?
Yeah, because Andy says he can't keep avoiding her, and then laughs
Jack's
when
like, I can do that the rest of my life.
And then, well, Andy laughs when he says he's going to hurt her, and just Andy tells him to get over her himself.
But how would Andy like it? Like, does she ever put herself in Kate's shoes? I'm just saying.
Well, she did when she asked her to stay with him for a couple nights during Valentine's Day.
Oh, wait, but I'm saying what Kate is going through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Isn't it too soon to hear in probably the same week that both of your boyfriends are gay.
Yeah. It's probably just because they don't see her, so it's like their only chance, but yeah.
Well, it's his only chance to keep his mouth shut then. It's only, what, a weekend?
Yeah.
You can keep your mouth shut for a weekend, and then guess what? You won't see her for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was taking it, was as long as Andy can keep her mouth shut, we're good. And Andy was kind of like, at the beginning at the house, she was kind of like, well, this is your situation and story. Like, you tell her, but it's like, I don't know, Andy, you kind of want to tell her, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're kind of saying it on the golf course. Like, you're the one that kind of wants to say it.
Yeah. And in the last card, Kate asked if something's hideously wrong with her, and how her ex said that she was an acquired taste, and asked Dawson if that was just a nice way of him saying that she's a filthy eyesore. And Dawson says that no, she's beautiful in a way that beautiful actually means something.
Now, how did you like when Dawson called her beautiful?
Well, it's predictable.
Wasn't it too soon?
What do you mean too soon?
I don't know. Like, I don't really know if Dawson wanders around the street calling people beautiful. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh.
Like, he just met her, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, she asked him, so he just told her the
I
truth.
know, but he just met her.
I know, but he can still say that.
Dawson.
Yeah.
We're talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they arrive to the party, and Matt comes walking up to them and says he didn't invite them. But of course, that's when Dawson gives the passcode, so they're let in, but
Now,
not.
okay. So first he's like, well, you know how to get, or you know what it is or whatever to get in. And
Mm-hmm.
Pace is like, yeah, $5. And then no, they have to drink the
Jello
gel
shot.
shots. But my thing is like, okay, so Andy didn't and Joey didn't. How
Right.
are they still in the party?
Well, they left, remember? After.
But they first just wandered into the party
Mm-hmm.
away from, what was his name, Matt?
Yeah.
But my thing is, wouldn't he be like, oh, you guys didn't do it, out you go. Like that
Right.
way. It was
Yeah.
just weird how he let them get off the hook.
Yeah, well, Andy is the driver, so that was
Okay,
excused.
but what about
it was
Joey?
Yeah, Joey shouldn't have, yeah.
He should have been like, you can go away. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying that it was weird how he made everyone else drink, but then Joey got away with it and was still able to attend the party if she wanted to.
Right.
Because he didn't kick her out. She wandered off.
True.
So what did you think of Henry and Jen? I'm sorry, but when she opens the door or whatever and sees Henry
of
is
course, yeah.
so pale.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
was like, he looks like a ghost.
yeah, I wrote that down too. He looked
And
really
then
bad.
like his eyes were like red. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, the boy.
Yeah, you can tell he's not well.
Oh, you can tell he ain't got no blood in him.
Yeah, Jen should have been like, you don't look so good. Maybe we should reschedule this.
Or why don't you come in? We can watch a movie or something.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to sit down and relax.
Yeah, it looks like he needs something to eat too. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to the restaurant, but still like right
Don't
right
think
now.
aren't they supposed to like give you cookies or something?
Yeah, they should, but I don't think they did.
I need to give
I
the
don't-
poor kid a cookie.
Yeah, I didn't see or juice or anything like that. So.
Right. To boost his system up. It was just weird. I'm like, wait a minute. He's able to just walk away. And aren't they supposed to like keep you for a little bit to make sure you're not passing out?
Right. Yeah, they didn't do that
He
either.
looks like he's about to pass out, so they really should have kept an eye on him.
Yeah.
Especially given how this is not his first time doing it.
Yeah, that nurse did a really bad job.
So the fact that she didn't feed him, didn't give him anything to drink, and sent him off on his way, she's a bad nurse.
Yep.
Well, and then I was surprised, though, too, about Henry,
Yeah.
that he was able to walk down the steps and not fall.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
if he's, like, ready to pass out, you would not be able to walk up and down the steps.
Right.
He should have fell then. I'm just saying. Like, because he looked that bad. That if you're going to make the poor kid look that bad, you should make him fall down there.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least make him look bad at the restaurant. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
he-
was
he
just
did.
weird how he looked really bad, like he was going to pass out at her house.
Mm-hmm.
But he was still able to walk. Okay.
Right.
That's what threw me off.
Mm-hmm. And then when they were taking the shots too, I just thought it was funny how Matt called Andy and Joey, Betty, and Veronica, referencing Riverdale. And then
Riverdale, was that on back then?
Yeah, it's based on a comic book back in the
Oh,
decades before. I can't
remember,
remember. I
I
think
don't watch that
80s
show.
or I'm thinking 80s maybe. But yeah, and then that's when, Pacey
Are
and
they supposed to be like the good girls?
um well, it's really from the show that I know, really Betty that's supposed to be like the good girl, but so that'd be Andy actually because she's a blonde. But that's when Joey and Pacey are arguing about Dawson taking the shot, and he's like, "We're not at the gates of hell, and you're not arguing over my soul." So I was glad that he said that to them because they were starting to annoy me going back and forth.
No, they were annoying you.
Yeah,
Why were they annoying you?
well, that's what they were doing. They were
But they
acting
were
like
so
that.
cute.
Well, they were just full on arguing. It wasn't the banter like before because it was about Dawson. They were just fully acting
Oh,
like
you
the
only
angel
like
and
their
devil.
banters when it's about themselves, not about Dawson.
Yeah, because they were just acting like the angel and devil on his shoulders, definitely in that moment.
Well, she did say.
Hmm. And at the date when they're sitting down, I think they were just waiting for their food, weren't they? They weren't eating yet.
Oh, at the restaurant?
Yeah.
I mean, they were sitting down. Yeah, I guess they must have already ordered.
Hmm.
And yeah, they were just waiting for their food. And she's going on and on about, I don't even know what, because I wasn't even listening. All I was doing was watching him, like, seem like get whiter and
Hmm.
whiter.
Yeah. She was just saying that she's glad they can spend some time to get to know each other, and that's when Henry
Um,
can't focus from being so weak.
um, I don't think Henry got any rest.
Yeah.
So the one thing that the nurse did say to him was, get some rest.
Hmm.
He's going on a date
Hmm.
with his dream girl.
Yeah.
Why would he get any rest?
Hmm.
And I was just like, man, he definitely didn't get any. That's why she should have just welcomed him in the house because it would have been a better date than that one.
Hmm. And then
And again, what he really should have ate something.
hmm well, he was going to at the restaurant, but before that, Jen sees that he's closing his eyes,
Well,
so she's like, "Am I
am I
boring
boring
you?"
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was
he's like,
funny.
"No, I'm just resting my eyes." And then she jokes about
Well, yeah, she goes, well, you can just keep, put your head down and
taking out.
rest. And then that's
Yeah.
when he just like collapses on
Yeah.
the floor.
And he's like, "Okay." And he falls over, pulling the tablecloth from the table next to him down before he hits the floor. So plates, silverware, and food falls on top of him.
Hopefully it wasn't a knife.
Yeah. And then after that, Andy and Joey ride in a golf
Now,
cart.
now,
What?
did you like how Jen treated the situation?
No.
Miss Jen. So obviously the ambulance comes, he gets taken away.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course he gives her the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just so cold. I can't with Jen.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that whole situation?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I mean, she'd have a right to be mad at that he donated blood as much as he did, but then after that, it wasn't really his fault. Like, he couldn't help but, faint,
Fall?
and then, he tried to give her the ring before he left, and it was too small, and, and when he gave her the ring, she kinda acted like she didn't appreciate it, like, it was too much, even though it was a sweet gesture.
Well,
Even
it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so it made sense that he would give her a gift, so, I
But
mean,
she
it's not
was so cold, she didn't even
mhm.
go with the poor kid.
Yeah, I
He's
thought
supposed to
so
go by
too.
himself?
Yeah,
You're on
'cause,
a date with him. Go with him. All she did was go back home and eat leftovers.
yeah, I
I was
know.
like, what kind of poor Henry?
Mhm.
Like, I just love that kid.
Mhm.
I mean, in my eyes, Henry's done no wrong.
Yeah.
Has he done anything wrong so far?
No.
Okay. Thank
Besides
you.
for putting himself in danger for a second
Yeah,
time
well,
now.
he put himself in. It's not like he put someone else in danger.
Hmm. And then Andy and Joey ride in a golf cart to leave the party because they didn't want to drink, and I guess they're just gonna leave everybody there and go back
I
home. I
would
don't
too.
know what they were gonna
Well,
do.
I wouldn't even have went. Would you?
No.
I'd have stayed home.
Hmm.
So it was funny when Pacey was going on and on about
Joey.
Joey. Joey was going on and on about Pacey
Hmm.
to Andy, and Andy's like, "You know who you remind me of?" And she's like, "Who?" And she goes, "Me." Right before I started dating him.
Hmm.
That was funny.
Yeah, and before they could continue,
But
Doug.
once again, how is Andy not putting it together?
I don't know.
How Pacey's been acting, Joey,
Hmm.
and the fact that now she said that,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, but Annie's smart, and the fact that she's turning into Dawson, who doesn't see a thing, is bothering me.
Well, I think she was starting to see it then, but like I said, they were interrupted by Doug, so they couldn't talk about it more.
What? I have an issue with Doug again.
Because he wasn't watching the golf course well enough and there was a party there?
No, my thing was when he goes up to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly who it is. And the fact that he then flashes them with his flashlight. I was like,
Oh, because it wasn't that dark?
yes. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just, and I'm sure they had the lights on the golf cart. I don't know. But it was just weird how he just always has to do that. Even when it was Dawson. Remember at the boat? He did the same thing then. It's like, you know who they are. Why you gotta flash them? Nobody wants the light in their eye. Dingbat.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had an issue with. I was like, it's Joey and Andy for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And then he does the same thing when he goes up to the party. He flashes Dawson
Mm-hmm.
and then Pacey. And it's like, but once again, you know who they are.
Right.
They're not You're so close to them when you're flashing them too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're doing it from miles away.
Yeah.
That was my point, was they're not strangers, and he's not doing it from miles away. He's doing it up close, right in their face.
Yeah.
That's what I had an issue with. They're not strangers.
And then during their walk, Kate...
and it's not like he was like, he flashed him out, oh, I'm so sorry, like, I know who you are, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was acting as if, because he likes that control.
Yeah.
That I'm the police officer, and I'm going to arrest you, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like where his mindset goes, and it just bothers me.
Yeah, and then during their walk, Kate says Dawson is the nice guy of the friend group who volunteers to take the emotional, drunk girl so the other boys can have fun.
How do you know I'm the nice guy?
I know, that was funny for him to say.
Because Dawson, you're so boring. You might as well be.
Yeah, and then she laughs and says it's not him. She says that someone who was trying to take advantage of her situation wouldn't say that they were taking advantage of her situation, which is very true.
Now, I will say, though, that when they're about to kiss and then she throws up,
Yeah.
That was a great moment because I was like, see, Dawson makes everyone gag.
Yeah, and right before that, he asks the universe to help him out when he wants to have a good time. And then Doug once again shows his flashlight again in their faces. Well, Dawson's
that's the
face
first
because
time,
Kate
yeah.
is thrown up. And then Jen gets home and looking for leftovers because she didn't eat at the restaurant. And, she's telling Graham there won't be a second date because of how, bad this one was. And another expression about a necklace, Graham says that it was just another moment and another pearl in a wondrous necklace. I never heard of that expression either.
Me either, but once again, you're seeing Jen evil.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's lying in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even going to check and see if he's okay.
Yeah.
And you're just going to tell Graham says, well, we're not going on a date again.
Yeah.
Because he overdid it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you go check on the poor kid before you say that stuff?
Right.
Like, what if he died?
Yeah.
Then she'd have the same reaction as she did with Abby, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I wrote Jen complains about how Henry's in the hospital from selling his blood for a date in a ring that is too small, and how she said it was sweet, adorable, and like grammar school cute.
Yeah, she annoyed me again there too.
Yeah.
I thought it was sweet.
Yeah, me too. And then Jen asks why Henry would go through all the trouble of that if it's not who he is, and Graham says maybe that's what he thinks you want him to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is true. But I also think too it was still Henry. I think it wasn't like just for Jen. It was like something he actually wanted to do. It's not something that he thought she wanted him to do.
Right, because he's always been that thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who he is. He's just a thoughtful guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen isn't used to that. She's used to the bad boys.
Yeah.
And apparently that's what she wants because she's driving me nuts.
Yeah. And then the party is over with Doug showing up, and during this moment, that's when Pacey is stuck upside down on a branch during the keg stand. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I don't, because like,
How that happened so fast.
no, I'm like, I don't really get how being on the branch like that was helpful, because he was kind of like at an angle. He wasn't completely upside down. So that wouldn't have been, would have worked very well to drink the beer from the keg, because you're supposed to be completely upside down.
I don't drink.
I know, so I'm just wondering how he even ended up on the branch to begin with. But it was funny how everybody just like left him there. Nobody helped him get down or anything.
Well, they saw Doug coming, so they all scrammed.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then everyone
let's
gets.
just finish out Jen's storyline real quick.
Okay.
She goes to the hospital. She sees Henry.
Finally.
Yeah. And then that's when she tells him, like, you don't have to, like, overdo it and stuff. Like, just be you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when she says, too, about how she was nervous because this was her first Valentine's Day with someone because all her other boyfriends wanted to spend their Valentine's Day with the girl that they actually liked.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could then see that she was nervous, but it's just weird how her nervous means run away from Henry and be mean to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing, is be mean to him. Why you gotta be mean to him?
Yeah, because she knows that he likes her, for so many episodes now. And finally she
All
goes on a date with
season.
him. Yeah. But what made me feel old is when she said that if they keep going out because she wants to, they should act like themselves and less like a couple in their 30s. That made you feel old?
No, I didn't even know that's what she said.
Oh. I mean, I know we just got to the 30s, but it still made me feel
I
old.
was tuned out by Jen.
Yeah, hearing her say that. And then he's like,
No, I was just watching them eat Jello.
oh. And then he's like, well, do you want me to take the ring back? She's like, no, because it reminds
Oh,
her
but
of him.
yet before she acted like she wanted to throw the thing away.
I know, just because
And
it was
now
too
she's
small.
going to keep it. This is what I mean. The back and forth, the hot and the cold with Jen. I can't take that girl.
Yeah.
She's so annoying.
Yeah, and then they eat Jello together, and Henry calls it their second date with no disasters. And Jen says that they shouldn't think about what could go wrong and just eat the Jello.
Yeah. So when they all are arrested and in jail, did you like the back and forth between Dawson and Joey?
No,
It was like a snooze fest for me. I'm like, again, here we are.
no, it just annoyed me.
I have to listen to it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny when Kate brought up kissing Dawson when they didn't actually kiss.
Yeah, what she was like referring to almost kissing. Yeah, she had no, it was Dawson. Wasn't it Dawson who clarified that they didn't kiss?
Yeah, because that's when Joey was like, "You kissed her."
Mm-hmm.
But also, it was funny when Kate looks at Dawson and says, "Are you gay too?" And he goes, "What, me?" And I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, after Jack told her.
Yeah, because Jack finally admitted it, but Andy was like, "Don't do it here.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be free before you can do that."
Yeah. And then that's when Pacey steps into when Joey and Dawson are arguing back and forth.
I agree. I'm tired of them arguing.
Mm-hmm. But then that's when Joey acts when he adopted this mean streak and move away from their good-natured banter.
Yeah, and he says, or when did it become where you actually take it personal?
Yeah, and take it seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she said it's never been hurtful because, what he's been saying is one harsh thing after another, and what did she do to deserve it? And Pacey says nothing. He says it's just exhausting to watch them go from soulmates to them giving up, and if they could just make up their own mind soon. Like I agree with that. I was tired of it too. And then
For 3 seasons now.
yeah, and it says it can make a guy puke, and that's what he does in the cell scene.
So then, of course, after that, Doug lets them all out but Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's just go to Mitch
Okay.
and Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home now, and Mitch, he is eating. Okay, so he goes to the freezer, grabs the ice cream. He takes a couple bites. I don't even know there was ice cream in there, and then he throws it in the sink.
I don't know.
Now, was there ice cream even in there?
I don't know. I wasn't watching when he was eating.
I was like, is he actually eating ice cream or not? Because literally, he's took a couple bites and put it in the sink. It was as if there was no ice cream in there.
Yeah.
It was just weird.
I feel like sometimes they just do that to, because like when you have to do
Because
so
they
many.
have to like hold something.
Well, yeah, and like you can't keep eating like that for so many takes either. Because if anything, if it was real ice cream, you would have got a brain freeze if they did so many takes.
It was just weird though.
Yeah, I know.
He had like 2 bites of I didn't see ice cream on the spoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put it in the sink. But again, it wasn't like he put it back in the freezer.
Right.
So he could have some later.
Mm-hmm.
It was as if it's empty.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw it in the sink to like rinse out.
Yeah.
It was just weird. I'm like, why'd you put it back in the sink though?
Mm-hmm.
That's what bothered me. But then go ahead and tell him what he tells Dawson.
Yeah.
Because he's giving him the silent treatment.
Mm-hmm. and how Dawson's like, that's usually, something the kid does. And that's when Mitch mentions, with what he's been, like his actions in the year that he's had.
Now, I was happy that Mitch brought up the wrecked boat
Mm-hmm.
because I thought it was going to be one of those things where we don't hear about it ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just out of the writer's mind.
Yeah.
But again, he brought it up, so I was happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mitch says he has no problem with him being 16. It's just wrecking boats and strippers on the kitchen table and fishing him out of the drunk tank. That's what's bad. That's what's making him mad. So if Dawson's decided to start acting like a 16-year-old, he decided that he's going to start acting like a parent.
So my thing too is that Mitch tells Dawson that Gail is opening up a restaurant. Dawson's going to be working there after school, before school, weekends, whatever. I thought he had a job, the movie
Video
store.
store. Yeah, well, we haven't
Now
heard about that in a while.
It was just a Tango episode
Oh,
this
yeah.
season.
Right. I don't know.
Did he get fired from that because he put the sign out that were closed?
Maybe. I just noticed there's 2 flies in here now. But yeah, so I don't know about that. Maybe Dawson. No, I was gonna say maybe. Yeah, that was before Nikki, right? Coming to the school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can cut that out if you want to. But I was gonna say. Oh yeah, never mind. That's later.
But isn't it weird that so he must have got fired from closing?
Yeah, I thought maybe he quit, but no, that wouldn't make sense right now. But
No, because the boy needs money.
yeah. Yeah, so but the way that Mitch said that he's gonna start acting like a parent, like what was he doing before?
Not acting like a parent.
Yeah.
Dawson was always parenting his parents.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were never the good parents.
Yeah. And they're not even, I mean, the other ones aren't either, but I would say none of the parents here are really
Good.
parenting their kids very often.
No, the
Never
kids are
around.
off on their own little adventures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mitch says until he decides on a path for himself, that's when he's gonna, work for the restaurant. Because being a kid doesn't give him the license to be reckless and irresponsible, which is true, but.
And also, where does Mitch think Dawson was? With Joey? Because he hasn't been hanging out with Joey. And he has no friends.
With Pacey?
He hasn't been hanging out with Pacey either.
I don't know.
So where does he think his son has been?
I don't know. And then back at the jail, Doug gives Pacey some coffee and asks what his problem is. I thought this was actually a sweet moment that they had together as brothers.
Yeah, it's
that we haven't seen before.
It's the first time you get to see Doug and Pacey have a normal brother to brother conversation about a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Joey?
Yeah. And that was funny how Pacey said it's not important, but then he says it's it's not important who she is, but that she's really annoying her about her opinion about everything, but it's not a nightmare because she's so smart and usually right. And Doug asks if she's pretty, and Pacey says she's very, very pretty.
Now, I thought it was sweet when Doug says, "It's not every day that you come across someone who gives you butterflies."
Mm-hmm.
And then he also says at the end that Pacey should tell her because it'll be like living in your own prison if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Now, I just have a thing to say.
Mm.
Pacey went on and on and on and on. How in the heck did he remember all those lines?
Oh, yeah.
It was just the whole thing was him talking. And I was like, how in the world did he remember all that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was in my head. It was all sweet, but I was just thinking it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot to remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just sweet. That scene, and Pacey thanks Doug for the advice.
So then, of course, last scene.
Mm-hmm.
Pacey goes to apologize to Joey. And he is about to tell her that he loves her.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, he stops himself and teaches her how to drive instead.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? I'm like, oh, he was so close.
Yeah, but then before that,
before that, she said, you got to learn to read through the banter.
Yeah, well, before that too, Joey says that she's worried about Pacey as well as Dawson, and because Satan himself could drag Dawson to hell and he would remain intact, but no one seems to be worrying about Pacey.
And he starts to smirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like she's the only one that's actually been paying attention to him lately.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that are hanging around each other.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Dawson is in his own little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last scene.
Yep.
So what was your high and low?
The high was just Pacey and Joey kind of making up at the end after arguing. And then the low was um probably honestly just Jack's plot, just because I know he was stressed and nervous about telling Kate about him being gay. And then yours?
My high was Pacey teaching Joey how to drive because we all know Dawson couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
And then my low was Jen being so rude to Henry.
Mm-hmm.
When all he was trying to do was make the perfect date, and she is something else. And then I would rate this an 8. I liked it.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Ooh, you're copying me. And then who's your best and worst character?
Well, for the best, it was kind of difficult.
I know, they were all on equal levels, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, Henry was sweet, but he did, like I said, put himself in danger by giving more
The
blood.
nurse did it.
I know. She should know better than him,
Well,
but
who are you picking?
well, I just felt Jack in this episode. That's all, the most.
Wow, what did he do?
With just being, he was trying to just be nice to Kate because he knows that she was already going through it with her last boyfriend, who was also gay. So he was trying to make it less bad by telling her that he's gay as well. Just trying to, be a good guy to her.
Well, I feel like there's no easy way to say it.
Oh yeah, we skipped a little
It's
scene
okay.
about how she said that she was glad that she's going home, knowing the real him,
Mm-hmm.
and that he could never disappoint her.
Yeah, and they hugged and stuff. Well, so who is your worst? If Jack's your best, who's your worst?
Because
What are you smiling for?
you won't like the answer.
Dawson?
No. I mean,
Joey.
Like, yeah, I mean, like
Wait,
Jen.
you said yeah when I said
No.
Joey.
Not Joey.
I know who you're gonna say, but
Well, I don't know.
what do you mean? I know who you're gonna say.
Well, like I said, Jen was really bad with how she was treating Henry, but then I also didn't like how Pacey was, getting into it with Joey at the party
So
either.
it's Jen.
Yeah, Jen is more the worst. Yeah.
Well, then why did you say I wouldn't like it?
Well, because like I said, it's a little bit of Pacey too. So,
Oh,
but
yeah,
mostly Jen.
But who's your overall?
Jen.
That's all I care about is your overall.
And what's yours?
Okay. So, my best was
Mm-hmm.
very hard to choose. I thought about maybe Doug because he was giving Pacey the good advice, but then I didn't like him the rest of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I switched my answer from Doug to Henry. Because I thought it was so sweet was what he was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing everything that he just to pay for the ring that didn't fit her finger.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so sweet. I just love him. And then the worst, Pacey.
Really?
Literally wrote that. See? What's it say?
Are you pointing at it?
No. It's up top.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not lying. It says Pacey. Because this whole episode, if I have to go by the whole episode he was being mean.
Okay, I thought that was just me looking at that.
No, he was being mean. He didn't have to say all those things. Especially when he loves her. Come on now.
Yeah.
And I mean, he wanted her there, but then he didn't. He was all back and forth too.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Jen was bad, but I mean, she still showed up to the date.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I just picked Pacey overall because he was, just mean. So, what is the next episode?
Episode 15, Crime and Punishment.
Lord, what is up with all these titles? All right, you guys, thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.